I was like,
Hey.
I thought it put us up on a screen. What's going on?
All right. Well, let's go to the comments. We already got 11 comments.
That's the old school one.
Hey.
Oh. Hey, everybody.
All right. Hey, Connor.
Connor, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Pogo?
Hey, Pogo.
And Mrs. Pogo.
And Mrs. Pogo.
Hello. Hey, Mikey.
Hey, Mikey. What up there? What up there, my bottos? Hi, Kisa.
Guys, you got one more day to vote. And tomorrow we're announcing who the winner is.
Hey, Cosmo. What's going on?
What's up?
Stephen P. Kid. Yep. Yeah. All right. What are we doing? Oh, there's more.
Tons of comments.
Because everyone's coming through.
Ma, the demon people are on.
Oh, there we go. No, not the demon people today.
It's Mikey.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Joking.
Right. I know.
Thank you, Mikey.
Yeah. Yay.
Thank you.
100% booby today. That's every time. That's where all the comments come from.
All right. So tonight we are talking about, we're going to kind of touch base on a few things. The first one is going to be 5 different true crime stories that really should keep you up at night. And there will be dogs running behind us.
Our last day night here. We're going home tomorrow.
And tomorrow is Aka and Mother de la Mort are going to be talking to some monster hunters.
Monsters is real.
Monsters is real. If you guys haven't had the opportunity to go check out Pride Combat, not the clothing line. All right, so let's start off with Albert Fish.
Albert Fish, real fast, we're going to lightly touch on him.
I wasn't referring to that cochino.
Albert Fish, we are going to lightly touch on.
Touch.
That's what he liked a lot. But Albert Fish is another one we're actually in the future. We're actually going to do a couple part episode.
We did do some before, but we need to redo it.
Yeah, it's going to be more in depth than what we did before back with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's Albert Fish when he got caught. So Albert Fish is an American serial killer who earned the title and might have actually helped coin the term the boogeyman.
He definitely was one of the first to. I would dare say he did coin, or they coined the term with him. I mean, the Boogeyman has actually been around for a lot longer than that. But
Well, yeah, but
he literally. I would say the Slender Man is actually very much based on him
possibly, yeah.
because of. He was always. There was times where he was in a suit. He would chase kids through the forest and stuff like that. He actually only killed like 3 kids, but the rest. But he had a long career.
He was a child rapist and a cannibal.
Yes. Yeah.
He claimed that he had killed 50 children, a child in every state.
I don't.
But I know he didn't get to Hawaii
I don't believe that
or
for
Alaska.
the simple fact that
Well, maybe Alaska.
he would punish himself. And mind you, okay, his killings actually happened 6 years before he was caught. And in the last 6 years, he was constantly like flogging himself and stuff like that. His kids would walk in on him. And actually his kids, he was very good to his kids and everything like that.
Yeah.
Like he never, for the time when it was actually legal to beat your kids and stuff, he would never do stuff like that. He would never do anything along those lines. And he had his kids walk in on him a couple times. Not had him, but they would walk him on a couple times, flogging himself.
Flagellation.
Calling out one of the girls' names that he murdered, the main girl that he murdered.
Okay, so he was actually a suspect in 5 murder cases. He admitted to 3.
Hi, Natalie.
Natalie. Yeah, Cosmo. He didn't actually kill 50 children. He just claimed to, but he ended up admitting to 3.
They were able to pin 3 of them on him.
It was the trial of Grace Budd in 1928 that resulted in his execution.
Yeah.
And this is the Fun Police, by the way. She's awesome.
Yep.
So Fish's family had a long history of mental illness. His uncle had mania. His brother and sister suffered from, quote, mental afflictions. And his mother actually suffered from what would now probably be considered schizophrenia. Hey, Richard, how are you? She's just being, come here. So his mother actually suffered from hallucinations and had a lot of the symptoms of what we would now call schizophrenia.
Well, you know the fun fact about him, he was I think he was named after his uncle, who was like a governor or something in New York or something. I don't know, but his uncle was actually his uncle was a part of the Grant administration. Ulysses S. Grant. He was a part of his administration.
Well, so when Fish's father died, his mom placed him in an orphanage where he was profusely abused. Hey, Andy.
Yeah, and the orphanage actually is where he combined the abuse with sexual gratification. And then that turned into everything else.
Well, that turned into him being a male prostitute.
Oh, everything. It didn't matter.
In New York City. And his mother. So get this. His mom puts him in an orphanage, but then tries to arrange a marriage. Successfully, actually, arranged a marriage. He did marry her.
He did have several. He had like 6 kids. It wasn't like he...
Yeah, they had 6 children.
He was just weird as hell, though.
So when a male lover took Fish to a museum, he saw a bisection of the male anatomy and became obsessed with mutilation.
But he was obsessed with masochism prior to that as like a 6-year-old.
Well, yeah. We're just going into basics of everybody today.
Yeah.
He confessed to mutilating a disabled lover and left him $10 and kissed him goodbye and never found out what became of him.
$10 at the time was actually around $250 now.
Yeah.
That's insane. And what he did to it, they had like a 2-week long affair. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of it, and then mind you, they did everything. And the disabled person was actually 19 years old. It wasn't until he started to take scissors and try to cut while he was tied up.
He tried to bisect his penis.
Mm-hmm. And then when he screamed out in pain, that's when he actually came to and stopped and let him go and gave him the money to remove that.
Well, he didn't really let him go. He just left.
he let him.
And he has no clue what happened to him.
He untied him, so he.
If you cut a penis, you're more likely going to bleed to death. Like slice a penis open like that.
He didn't exactly slice. It was on the like the head right here. It was on the side, and it was that. And then that was it. He actually bandaged him up and everything. He did clean him up. Who?
Go to Mikey first. Macabre actually had a shirt back when, and it said "Can of Chef Boyardee," but it read "Fish Boyardee." And then this is what I laughed at. When a male lover took fish to a museum, sounds hilarious. Taken out of context. So eventually in 1917, Fish's wife left him. Mm-hmm. And this is before actually knowing about the murders.
She left him and left
and the children.
They had a live-in roommate or something basically, and like she left everybody for that roommate, and that was that.
Mm-hmm. So after that, Fish said that he started having hallucinations, and they were of the religious type. Yeah. It was the apostles and other religious figures were speaking to him.
Was he Episcopalian, I think, or something along those lines?
I don't know. So Fish later said it was God who was commanding him to murder and torture children, although he never abused his own kids.
He never did. He actually really loved his kids. He did weird stuff in front of his kids, like his kids walking in on himself, flogging himself.
Well, the self-flagellation was in private, and they walked in because they're kids. That's what they do.
But they did also walk in on him, basically rolling himself up in the carpet, and then staying there all night long while waiting, just doing it.
I'm a burrito.
Fish was fishy.
He's all, hey guys.
I'm awake for change.
I'm a taquito.
I'm a taquerito.
Just leave me alone. I'm a taquito. So, in a letter, Fish confessed to the crime that would lead to his execution. He wrote the mother of Grace Budd the following. We had lunch. Grace sat in my lap and kissed me. I made up my mind to eat her on the pretense of taking her to a party. You said yes, she could go. The letter Fish sent led police to him and subsequently to his arrest and execution.
Now, mind you, this was
in 1936.
This was 6 years after he killed, or almost 7 years after he killed her.
8 years.
Yeah, he decided out of nowhere because there was a super cop actually looking for him, and he was a really, really good cop. I can't think of his name.
Killed her in 28 and sent the letter in and he was executed in 36. So probably more like 7.
It was 7. For some odd reason he just decided to write a letter.
You gave permission. What?
That's one of the things that he did. He wrote letters. He wrote like.
Go ahead.
He wrote like he was one of the original trolls. Like he literally would just he would go through the not one ads, but the what's the woman seeking man seeking ads? What are they called again?
Want ads, I guess.
They used to have the dating ads in the back of the newspapers and stuff like that. And I can't think what they're called, but he would go and just pick out random people at General and like send them the most dirtiest letters of all time, describing things from having them defecate in his mouth, all their stuff, everything, like just going off on it. He was just one weird out there guy.
Fish burrito. Thank you, Natalie. Do we all love Liz's shirt or what?
Take old beaties.
It has a zipper, guys. It has a zipper. I'm very proud of this. Hey, Andy. Hey, Calvin.
Hey, Calvin.
What's up? All right. Let's see. Getting into a couple more comments. It says I'm banned, but I figured a way. Nice. I don't understand what's going on.
I don't know what's going on either. You're not banned at all. We went through.
No, not banned through us.
Oh, I was like, we went through and checked everything out. I was like, but you're here. Well, just remember, guys.
And the ratings skyrocket.
Yeah. Just remember, guys, if you guys, for some odd reason, get banned catch a ban from Facebook, we live stream to YouTube too.
Yes.
And we live stream to Twitch, all this other stuff. So right now we are live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube. You guys can go directly there if something happens and comment there, because YouTube is not like Facebook. They're not restrictive like Facebook is.
Yeah. So now we're going to talk about the Freedmans.
Oh, also go to our website. I forgot about that. We
PsychoBunnyDC.com and RootsBleedRed.com.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to talk about the Freedmans, Arnold and Jesse Freedman. It's the two taller guys that are in pretty much the matching suits.
Yes.
And
sorry.
Somebody disappeared on me.
I'm grabbing a beer. I'm sorry.
All right, so
I'm parked.
yes, the Freedmans. So Arnold and Jesse Freedman were a father and son that were convicted of child molestation. There's also an HBO documentary about them. So in the way that they got caught was actually because Arnold purchased a child pornography magazine. And yeah, so the magazine was intercepted by the U.S. Postal Service in 1987, and that led to Arnold's arrest. So he purchased it. It was being sent to him via mail.
You know, the crazy thing is whenever we talk about these serial killers or these child rapists or whatever, you look at them, you're like, why would you be that stupid to order something like this through a federal system and stuff like that? They're gonna, if they see something, they're gonna open it and be like, no, we have to. Tell us the beer, Tony.
That settles it. I'm doing tomorrow's show topless.
Yes.
All the kitty nipples.
If Mark Limbo's on here,
he loves this beer.
Rasputin.
Rasputin.
If anybody can send us out to Mark Limbo, I sent him a funny pic the other day.
Yes, somebody actually share this over to Mark. Invite him, because I mean it's Rasputin. He probably ordered it from overseas, maybe.
Maybe.
Don't shave that pretty fur. Explain, Kisa.
Explain my
I'm all.
Beard, that's shaved, but anyway. That was already shaved.
Oh! Stephen P. Kitty Cat.
Oh,
because I was like, kitty nips. Sorry. Wow. Woo-hoo. I took that a totally different direction. All right, so Arnold, which I will show you again, who is the older one of the two, but the father-son duo is actually the ones that match. And you can see that one child whose hand, you
can see the two other children not wanting to be there at all.
Yeah. Do you see that face? Do you see his face with his hand on his shoulder?
Oh, God, disgusting people. This happened back in the 80s or the 70s?
80s.
Or probably from throughout the 70s and the 80s and stuff. Yeah, these people deserve to die.
Privacy used to be different back then. When emails first started, people would sell drugs via email.
That's how Tommy Chong got in trouble.
Yeah.
And then he was sent to the Taft prison, which is only like 20 miles from here.
Yeah, actually, one of my teachers would go up there and teach gardening, teach
It taught Tommy Chong how to grow his weed even better.
Well, he taught him gardening, horticulture. And actually, there is a bird house that was in the classroom that was Tommy Chong's that he built for him.
Too bad the prison. It was a private prison and it's not open anymore. But that's actually where Cheech and Chong reconciled too. Mm-hmm. Once Tommy Chong was sent to prison here in Kern County, Cheech Marin went and visited him and they reconciled and everything. That's what brought them back together and started doing their stuff again.
Well, so Arnold taught children's computer classes in his home.
Why? Why would you even? Well, I guess.
And the police suspected it was during these classes that the illegal activities were occurring. Obviously,
it's the 80s, and like that's just something people didn't pay attention to. And there's a dog behind us. There's an Indy.
Indy. So some children reported bizarre sex games during class, while others wouldn't even corroborate the story. There's the HBO documentary insinuates that the police had started basically a witch hunt against the Freedmans, but It's not true.
There is another one that happened in Los Angeles where it was an actual witch hunt during the Satanic Panic. And they never touched anybody and it actually ruined their lives, but they did come out of it. I can't think of what it was called again, but I do vaguely remember this one. And no, they really were doing this.
This was real.
I think I actually remember the some of the reports and everything like that when I was a kid.
It was bad. It was bad. Well, it was 87 that they were caught. So Arnold and Jesse awaited trial, and the family shot a lot of home videos simply documenting what was going on in their lives during this time. Ooh. Arnold's wife decided he was guilty and pled with him to save their son. She eventually divorced him, and Arnold ended up confessing to multiple cases of child sexual abuse, but claimed this never occurred in the computer classes that he taught.
It did.
The family later stated that Arnold did this in an effort to save Jesse. But Jesse later confessed to 2 cases of child abuse and claimed he confessed to reduce his sentence. Jesse also claimed that he was a victim of his dad's abuse, which makes sense.
True. It's very much possible because that's just how he's going to do it. It's learned behaviors with it. It's almost like lycanthropy, werewolfism, and stuff like that. You pass it on and stuff like that sometimes.
Sorry, I just like
there's
Halloween lycanthropy.
There's a splatterpunk book. I can't think of the guy's name or the name of the book. Read it a long time ago, but it was a guy hunting. He was a child molester, and he was trying to hunt down the original one who did it to the guy who did it to him. It was weird. Like
that is really weird.
Yeah, and like everyone ended up dying at the end because that's what they deserved. But it was a weird thing like that. They were trying to say, like psychologically, it's almost like that.
So, hi, Aaron.
Hi, Aaron.
I was born in 87. Ironic, huh? Well, I'm not sure that that's ironic, but that is a coinkydink that's what we're talking about.
Don't think that's ironic. Don't you think?
It's Alanis Morissette ironic.
I know.
So Arnold eventually committed suicide in prison and left his life insurance policy to Jesse. Jesse served 13 years in prison and he was released in 2001.
I don't understand how he would get that. And it was when he got out, I'm pretty sure it was multi-million. It was millions of dollars too.
Yeah. Well, and get this, the documentary about them
made them money.
Nominated for an Academy Award. That's the dog wanting outside. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
How are you? All right. So next we're going to talk about H.H. Holmes. But before we do that, we're going to go to a commercial so I can let the dogs out.
Oh, I got to find the commercial real fast. New ad.
Right there.
All right.
We'll
be right back.
This is Mikey from Out of the Ordinary, and you're watching PBDC TV.
Oh, hi. First thing in the morning, when I'm listening to music and getting a little bit of time for some creepy research, I'm always representing with my PBDC merch. What a better way to have a cup of coffee in the morning.
Don't forget to check out our other cool merch at rootsbleedred.com. That's rootsbleedred.com.
This is Professor Edgar Fluffosaurus from Spooky Tales with Steve the Cat, and when I'm not hosting Monster Chat or knocking down small Japanese cities, I'm watching PBDC TV. Now back to the show.
Hey, Diva Fluffosaurus. Thank you so much, Jeff. People share out the feed, say hi. Both of them are awesome people. Thank you.
I think I'm awesome.
Mikey. That Psycho People commercial is on again with the chicken feet lady and her coffee talking about, and the talking dinosaur and the hand hitting the TV. Let's see. They are among us. All right. So you're on vacation? Awesome.
Who's on vacation?
Kisa. I was on vacay.
Oh,
Awesome.
that's awesome.
Oh, thank you. He gave it to me. It's the first gift he ever gave me.
Yay.
All right. So now we're going to talk about one that we've actually covered before. Let's get back up to the top here.
H.H. Holmes.
Yep. H.H. Holmes. So he says home. Woo! All right, so H.H. Holmes was born in 1861. He was one of the first known serial killers in American history. But at that time, the term hadn't been coined yet. He may have killed up to 200 people. He often took his victims to his hotel that was next to the Chicago World's Fair. Now, in our show, we actually disproved a lot of the common misconceptions. Yeah, of course.
No, I didn't know. Not one bit.
Yes, he did. Yes. He
I was
does.
like, hey, babe, you want this hacksaw hammer thingy? Like a hacksaw?
I think there's a bird on it.
I think there's a bird on it. What's that for?
Holmes, not home. I know.
Holmes.
I know. So, he was the son of Methodist farmers, and he excelled.
He was the
in
son
school.
of a preacher man.
He was basically, and he excelled in school. Although his smarts led to bullying, and he pinpoints the incidents in which he became obsessed with death. Actually, back in grade school, his classmates put him face to face with a skeleton. At first, he was scared, and then he was really fascinated. Yeah, he's a goof.
Just a bit.
It's a Mew Mew. Yep. So, dim bones, dim dry bones, dim bones from Dr. Holmes.
I got Alice in Chains stuck in my head.
Well, at first he was scared, but he was completely fascinated by the skeleton.
He was completely scared of the way they lock him in there, and then he flipped it and reversed it, and got.
Okay, Natalie. So guys, by the way, after us at 7:00, instead of Mr. Ghoul, Mother de la Mort has a special edition episode on. So you guys make sure to tune in, please.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be M.R. James, Ghost Stories. So what?
No, I'm just laughing.
Okay, so Holmes did marry, and he had a wife, obviously, and son. And actually, he married like 3 times.
He was a bigamist too.
He was, yeah.
He the first time he married, he didn't divorce properly or whatever happened, and he.
Yeah.
But at the time too, if you just want to stayed over, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to track you down.
So early on in his marriage, he enrolled in med school and stole cadavers that he disfigured in a plot to collect insurance money.
Everything he did was a plot to collect.
Oh, yeah.
Collect insurance money.
So eventually his marriage dissolved. He went from city to city and had trouble holding down jobs. Eventually he landed in Chicago, where he worked at a drugstore, which he eventually purchased.
Mm-hmm.
He made a lot of money selling water that he claimed could cure the sick.
He, I want to say,
He was a snake oil salesman.
oh, obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't care about any of that. He just wanted money, and he got a thrill out of killing. But I want to say he is actually, in today's terms, he was a multi-millionaire
Pretty much,
because of
yeah.
the insurance scams that he would pull.
So the hotel. Well, so that money he actually put into building a hotel across the street from the drugstore.
Mm-hmm.
The hotel was literally a house of horrors, and we've shown pictures of it before. So Holmes killed his female employees, his lovers, and threw them down these chutes.
Well, the thing is,
Hi, Dave.
Hey, Dave. One of the things about that is, I think when they actually went into the hotel, they couldn't find any bodies or anything like that.
Yeah.
They just either he only did it a couple times, and then once he got the bodies down there, he just went down there and they moved them somewhere else, or maybe it didn't happen exactly that way.
Water? That's a drug made for horses.
Earth sauce.
So eventually he took to killing guests. He
Mhm.
did have a type. They were usually blonde, attractive females.
Oh, woo! I got 2 out of that. Out of the 3.
He installed pipes that would asphyxiate his guests in their rooms.
Yeah.
He eventually was caught because of his own doing. When he was arrested on fraud charges, he concocted a life insurance scheme with a cellmate. When he failed to pay up, when they were both out of prison, the cellmate decided to go snitch on him to the police. And the police eventually went to investigate the House of Horrors and uncovered plenty of evidence to put him away forever. Holmes was eventually executed in 1896 for the murder of Benjamin Peitzel, which was the person who actually helped him construct the hotel.
He pulled an insurance claim out on him too. I think.
Mm-hmm.
What was messed up was all the traps he set in the hotel. Yep.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So now we're going to talk about Cropsey.
I don't know anything about Cropsey.
Cropsey's a boogeyman.
Is he drooling?
Yep,
He looks like he's drooling right there.
he is. Cropsey is like the boogeyman. He's basically an urban legend, but he's real. That's the scary part about him. So Cropsey, much like the boogeyman, became an urban legend in New York City and the surrounding areas, particularly in Staten Island. So the Staten Island urban legend goes something like this. An insane man with a hook for a hand terrorized neighborhood boys and girls, dragging them into the crumbling ruins of Staten Island's abandoned Seaview Hospital. Cropsey became real in the 70s when a drifter named Andre Rand began abducting children.
Did he take him to the same hospital?
Yep.
Oh. So it was an urban legend that he just ran with.
He is the urban legend.
Well, you said it was
Yes.
the urban legend was around, and then
So,
he came around. Right?
Rand became or worked as, it wasn't that exact hotel actually, worked as a janitor at a local school for the mentally disabled.
Did he use a real
4 children went missing in the area and their bodies were never discovered.
Did he use a real hook for a hand, even though he had both hands?
A massive search party was launched for the missing child, Jennifer Schweiger, in the summer of '87. She had Down syndrome and went for a walk one day and never returned.
Oh, wow.
First off, why are you letting your Down syndrome child walk by herself? Why are you letting any child? Doesn't matter, Down syndrome,
It's
not.
the 70s.
The 80s.
80s, 70s, 80s. That's just what they did. They did not. It didn't.
It was almost the 90s.
It was a completely different era. I need to turn the light on in here.
Oh, we're fine. Okay. Except for my shiny face. So Jennifer's body was eventually uncovered near where he had set up camp because he was actually homeless.
Mm-hmm.
There's very little evidence, though, to actually convict Rand of any specific crime.
Hey, Genevieve.
Hey, Genevieve. So in 1988, he was ultimately convicted of kidnapping in the first degree and sentenced to 25 years in prison. A documentary called Cropsey was made about the missing children, the urban legend, and how a community suffers when crimes remain unsolved, and about Rand himself. The filmmakers repeatedly tried to get an interview with Rand, who was serving time at Rikers Island. They eventually went to go visit, but when they arrived, he declined to speak to any of them.
Did he talk about his crimes at all?
Even though
or
he had
basically
previously
just-
agreed.
Or he basically just clammed up.
He clammed up.
Yeah.
So, with that said, Cropsey and the missing children of Staten Island may forever just be urban legends. But he became the urban legend.
Yeah. Hi.
Hey!
Bring him.
The film Havenhurst is built around the H.H. Holmes story. Involves a hotel with traps and such. Nice.
I think I watch that. Oh, yeah. Another thing that's we bring it up several times every time we talk about H.H. Holmes is American Horror Story Hotel. I really love that season. I can watch that season over and over again.
That's because you get to see Lady Gaga butt.
No, it's not just that. That's part of it, but that's a good season of American Horror. I think it's the best one.
You've only watched that, and you've only watched 2 seasons.
I've only watched part of the other season too. I only need to watch the one season.
So now we're going to talk about Michael Perry. Look at this charmer.
Why does he have a bowl cut?
I don't know. He looks like Dumb and Dumber.
Isn't this like 2000 when he was convicted?
2001, yeah.
Why?
So Michael Perry went for a joyride one October night in 2001 with Jason Aaron Burkett after stealing 2 cars from a friend's parents. The night resulted in 3 homicides, and Perry's life changed forever.
Well,
Obviously.
I think that just is part
Perry
of the course.
hid in Sandra Stolter's laundry room so he could steal her car. He shot her in the side. When she struggled, he shot her again.
It sounds almost like a nursery. Excuse me. It sounds almost like a nursery rhyme right there.
Yeah.
And when she struggled, he shot her in the side. When she struggled again, he shot her again. Oh my God.
He shot her in the side and then she struggled.
Oh,
Just
sorry.
to clarify here.
Well, so
And then he shot her again once she started to struggle. So Perry and Burkett then dumped her body in a lake. When Adam Stutler arrived home with a friend, Perry convinced them that another friend had been shot in the woods and needed help. They then drove to the woods where they shot Adam Stutler and another person dead.
Dude looks like he says cha.
Cha.
Cha, bra. Chaka, bra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So filmmaker Werner Herzog interviewed Perry in the week before his execution in 2010. Perry maintained his innocence, even though Perry led police to the bodies of the friends that were shot in the woods.
Wait, so where did he do this at again?
I don't remember. I don't have it listed right now.
I kept thinking New York for some odd reason. I was like, why, man, they got him, they put him down pretty fast, but
Yeah, I don't have a list of where he was actually, because I'm more just talking about his story.
if he died in 2010,
Well-
it was probably Texas.
Even though Perry, so he would try to maintain his innocence. He did up to the day he was executed.
Well, Rodney Alcala did the same stuff.
But he led people to the bodies.
Rodney Alcala didn't lead anybody to any bodies.
I'm talking about Perry.
I'm just saying, a lot of serial killers maintain their innocence to the very end.
I'm going to say this again. Perry maintained his innocence, although he led the police to the bodies. That is not maintaining innocence, though. So he claimed he gave the confession when he was both high on drugs and after being roughed up by the police.
Was he?
In the days before his execution, Perry did show remorse about disappointing his adoptive parents and living the life as a rent boy, offering sex in exchange for rent.
It's not exactly showing remorse right there. That's just
He showed remorse for disappointing his parents.
I was going to say that's kind of like recanting on your deathbed. Like, please bring me into heaven.
No, he showed remorse for being a bad kid.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying in general.
Perry was executed for the crime of killing Sandra Stutler. His accomplice, Burkett, is doing life in prison for the killing of the other mutual friends in the woods. No motive was ever found beyond a simple joyride.
So, wait a second. How did he get life?
But the other one, I don't know.
The one guy got life for killing 2 people, but he got the death penalty for killing 1 person.
Yeah, I don't know.
That doesn't make sense. But that's our justice system.
So I gotta go let the fun police in real fast.
So, like I said, the young kids all have that hairstyle here, and they think they're hot shit. They all got V6 cars. Oh, exactly. Yeah, they just put a exhaust system on their V6 Mustangs, and it just sounds like it's all ratty. Yeah, Mikey, I know what you're talking about.
So here we go. We're gonna talk about 17 creepy true crime stories. They're very, very little snippets of everything. So, Amelia Dyer's murders, late 1800s. No one knows exactly when Dyer, who was born in 1837, started murdering children.
All she did wrong was one pad. She burned
That's
one
too
pot
bright.
roast.
So,
There you go.
that's better. Okay, so she would get paid to adopt unwanted babies, and then she would kill and dispose of them. We've talked about this one before.
Yeah, she.
Her total, the total death toll is unknown, but it's probably somewhere around 400.
And she was paid for it, wasn't she?
Yes, that's what I just said. She was paid to adopt unwanted babies, and then she would kill and dispose of them. And the death toll is somewhere around 400. She was executed in 1896.
So was she the first? Where was she at? Was it here in America?
I believe so, actually.
I don't think so, because
I think it was.
well, I thought the first female to be executed was actually in like 1930 or something.
I am shiny. So, the Bath School Disasters, 1927. So, here we go. On May 18th, 1927, Michigan man Andrew Kehoe blew up a local school using explosives that he gained from the World War I surplus. Afterwards, he showed up with a rifle and shot the superintendent and a few others. And finally, he shot himself. This is considered America's first school bombing and the deadliest school massacre of all time. Still.
Yeah, more so than Sandy Hook.
Mm-hmm. The shooting of William Desmond Taylor in 1922. Taylor was a film director who was found shot to death in his own home. Though the case is considered to be unsolved, much evidence points to a former actress named Mary Miles Minter, who starred in some of his films and was supposedly in love with him, but he never requited the...
You know, on a random note, this actually reminds me of...
reciprocated, rather.
Something I think we should actually maybe do around the holidays is all the starlets and everything who went to Hollywood looking for fame and end up dying, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of stories, especially with the ghost that haunts the Hollywood sign.
Yeah.
I've
been to the Hollywood sign. I had helicopters yell at me to get down.
I've been to Griffith Observatory.
No. I mean, like, I was...
No, I've never been to a Hollywood sign.
I was at the Hollywood sign, and I got yelled at by a helicopter. Ask my dad. It's pretty funny.
Your dad loves the hike. Absolutely.
So now, Dr. Oliver Howe's murder, 1905.
Hee-ho.
That was Kehoe, thank you.
Where do they get these names? Yeah, I don't know.
It was old-timey names.
Well, it's...
Mary Miles Minter.
I think it's even like my name means it's either more than likely Clevenger is a key holder, stuff like that. Lock the key holders with that. I am. Are you the gate master?
Call the locksmith.
No Ghostbusters.
I'm just call the locksmith.
I am the gate master. I'm the key holder.
All right. So Oliver Howe was a doctor who murdered his patients and his parents and brother in a fire. He was suspected of killing multiple women. He pled insanity for his crimes.
They always do.
But when the state of Ohio, I just pulled a Dan Quayle.
Call the Clevenger.
But when the state of Ohio declared him legally sane, he was electrocuted to death in 1907.
Yeah, at the time, That probably only took a couple days.
God, that smell. Shawshank.
Well, not just
When they didn't do the.
I've been near someone who's been electrocuted, and it's not a nice smell.
So.
My neighbor, back when I lived on the farm.
Oh, I remember that story.
Yeah, I was there out there with her while she was gathering eggs. Her name was Michaela, and she didn't think about the irrigation pipe being. Irrigation pipes are actually pretty light; they're real thin steel and everything like that. And she lifted it up, and the power lines are real high up, but she lifted it up to get the eggs out, and it went without about a foot, and it arced. And all I saw was a bright flash. Her dropped to the ground, and then I saw her feet, everything.
It went out her feet and her hands too, right?
Out her feet and her hands, and she had 3rd-degree burns on her hands and like that.
His mom did something really good.
Well, I went back to my mom, and they called 911 and everything else.
Well, your mom put her feet in ice, and apparently she was cooking still from the inside.
Yeah, it really messed her up. And luckily, because I'm not going to say because I was there, but because we went, her kids and us, we went into my house and called the cops, called the 911 and like that. That smell still sticks with me today. Like the smell of someone being electrocuted. It's ugh.
Mikey says, "Oh God, that's horrible."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
she's still alive. She's still alive today. She's not. She's older, but
Cleveland torso murders and the Kingsbury Run murders in the 1930s. Someone killed and dismembered at least 12 people in the 30s, and the criminal was never found. Body parts were scattered all over Cleveland. The first parts found by were by kids in a field, and only 2 of the 12 victims were ever identified.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of them were. I think some of them were put on trains and stuff like that, because he was doing it around train yards too.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever it was.
So the murder of Patricia Jones in 1960. Sharon Kine was having an affair with Patricia Jones's husband. When he decided to end their tryst, Sharon called Patricia saying Mr. Jones was sleeping with Patricia's sister and that she'd meet her to talk about it. That night, Sharon shot Patricia to death. Sharon was sent to prison but escaped in 1969 and has been missing ever since.
Frank, did you hear the story of the guy struck by lightning 3 times? No, I saw. What was that movie? The Great Outdoors. The guy was like, I've been struck by lightning, and he's all John Candy's all 3, and he's all.
You killed the punchline on this one.
I'm sorry. And he's like 3 times. He's all 33 times, just spitting it out and everything.
Did you hear that? She escaped from prison.
Yeah.
In 1969 and was never found again.
Where's the punchline?
That's basically the punchline right there.
Oh, well, maybe.
She is never found again. She was. That's my mom. No, joking.
More than likely, she went off to like Mexico or someplace like that.
Mexico. Okay.
Yeah. Well, seriously, like at the time, is once you get over the border, especially Canada or Mexico, that was that. You just go live your own life.
All right. So Jack the Ripper, we know this one. 1888 to 1891. We've all heard the name, but no one knows the true identity. Although they think that they've figured it out.
They did with DNA. They actually did.
Yeah.
It was a butcher.
The murderer mutilated and killed at least 5 sex workers in London over a 3-year period. The evidence suggests that he knew something about anatomy. And I guess being a butcher...
It was a butcher or someone along those lines. I can't remember what it was, but they did announce they did discover who, at least with DNA, with genetics and all stuff, they were able to match it with a specific person.
Because of ancestry.
Yeah, ancestry and all that stuff.
So, okay. The Hinterkaifeck farmstead murders of 1922. One evening in March of 1922, 6 members of the Gruber family who lived on Hinterkaifeck farm in Germany were brutally murdered with a mattock.
What is a mattock?
Let me
go
look it up.
I'll look it up.
No one knows who committed the crimes, and 95 years later, it is still a mystery that's unsolved.
Oh, it's a pickaxe.
Oh, it's a hatchet with like a.
It's basically a pickaxe. Yeah, it's a hatchet on one side, and it's a basically like a shovel.
Yeah.
So, let's see if I can. Oh well.
So the murder of Suzanne Degnan in 1946. She was 6 years old when she was kidnapped from her Chicago bedroom with nothing left behind but a ransom note. Her head was found in a sewer soon after, and other body parts were found around her neighborhood. Fingerprints on the ransom note matched a man named William Herons, who admitted to the crime, but later said that he confessed because the plea deal allowed him to live.
Mikey says, now if you cross borders, the police can get you. Still don't remember what they are called, but it's it's ones that will bust you no matter where you are and bring you back to the states. That would be like the FBI, Mikey. The FBI can
Well, it's more extradition and stuff.
It's FBI usually works with the local police of whatever country they're in, and then you also have like Interpol and stuff like that, which is like the European FBI, and they actually work back and forth with the FBI. There's actually been several times, I want to say Interpol has actually come to the United States to get a criminal and stuff like that, or vice versa. The CIA, all that stuff.
Okay, so wow, the murder of the Lady of the Lake. Let's do these two. I'm gonna skip a couple.
Let's just do two more. We're almost done. Anyway.
All right. So the murder of the Lady of the Lake in 1937. In December of 1937, Washington waitress Hallie Illingworth went missing. Her body surfaced in a nearby Lake Crescent 3 years later, almost perfectly preserved by its freezing waters. Turns out her husband killed her and tried to weigh her down, but the restraints had decayed and allowed her to float to the surface.
Yeah, Mikey. Yeah, Interpol, FBI and Interpol are one and the same. They just don't have they have to be. Interpol has to be allowed to come to the United States. Vice versa, FBI has to be allowed to come into Europe. And I think Interpol does work in. I think Interpol does work in Canada too.
So the boy in the box, 1957. The unidentified boy was found in Philadelphia in 1957 in a cardboard box, naked and covered in a blanket. He was a homicide victim and was possibly abused by his parents, as evidenced by the damage to his body. He's estimated to have been around 4 or 5 years old at the time of his death. And there's another one here that I wanted to read. Where did it go? No, we already talked about Belle Gunness.
Yeah, Belle Gunness is we did a whole episode on her.
Yep.
2 episodes, I think.
So the Little Lord Fauntleroy case was 1921. The unidentified body of a 5 to 7 year old boy was found in a pond in Wisconsin in March of 1921. He'd been hit with a blunt object and could have been lying there for months. In 1949, a medical examiner theorized that the boy could have been around 6 years old, or could have been the 6-year-old Homer LeMay, who had disappeared around the same time. So they seem to have actually solved it in 1949.
Bring up something real fast with Interpol, Mikey. Interpol, a lot of the European municipalities,
municipalities.
There you go. That's the word. They would actually solve a lot more serial killer crimes faster if they would have got Interpol involved.
So I could do another one, actually. The murders of the Grimes sisters in 1956.
Mm-hmm.
Barbara, 15, and Patricia, 13, went to see a movie in Chicago in December of 56, but never came home, launching one of the biggest missing persons cases in Chicago history. Unfortunately, their naked, lifeless bodies were found a month later on the side of the road, presumed to have been thrown out of a car. And the case does remain unsolved.
Is that the one that Mother Moore touched upon?
This
with
one?
A
little bit. I think she touched base on this one a little bit.
Yeah. With the what was the cemetery she was covering again? I can't remember now. I'm tired.
Resurrection.
Resurrection cemetery or
Yes.
Yes, that one. Mikey, who is Mary Bell?
I don't know.
Might have to look that one up. But I think
So that's basically it for the night. So make sure to tune in a little bit over 30 minutes because Mother de la Mort is going live and she's going to be doing ghost stories.
Yep.
Also, go vote. Today is the last day to go vote. So go to psychobunnydc.com for the costume contest and submit your vote. And tomorrow, we have some monster hunters that are going to be talking with Mother de la Mort and Aka. And we're also going to announce who the winner is.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, Dave. All right. And have a good one.
See you later.
We knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.